Okay.
Hi, Will. Happy Corona graduation. Really, you are so unique in so many ways, and this graduation celebration is unique in and of itself. Well, I am so happy for you. And I've just written down, can see it with only with glasses. I've written down just a few memories I have of you getting to this point. Will, I remember the day you were born. You were born an adult, just like your father. I don't know what you did with childhood, but you were always so responsible, Will. And you and your father were out of the same mold. When you were a few months old, I don't know, maybe 7 months old or something, your dad had a class reunion, and your mom and dad went up to the Hobart reunion, and you stayed with me, Will, for, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 days and nights. I had the crib all spiffed up. I got a new mattress. I had the man come across this from across the street come over and check how sturdy the crib was. And that's when Grandpa Deet and I were dating. And I watched the way Grandpa put you in the car seat, and we went down to Charlotte Beach, and we got ice cream. And Grandpa Deet was so wonderful and tender with you, Will. That was the signal when I knew I could marry him, because I knew he would love my grandchildren as his own, because that's what it turned out to be. When you were about 4 years old and Caroline was about 2, I came to spend some time at your house, and I brought you a horse video. I brought you a video of the story of Fury, which was always one of my favorite TV programs. And Will, you took this video and you waved it in Caroline's face, and she wanted it. But as soon as you waved it in her face, honey, you took off and she started to cry. But you were running in these high-top shoes. Will, you were absolutely just adorable. When you were 7, I took you to camp up in the Adirondacks. And every time I see that bear and every time I see that snake, it brings back wonderful memories. And I'm so glad you kept those, Will, because those were precious times I had with you. Now, the first time we went up, on the way home, we stopped at the gas station and general store, and I needed some good, strong coffee to get me through the ride. And you got something to eat, and then you proceeded, again, age 7, to get a copy of the New York Times. I thought, Scotty, beam me up. I must be seeing things. Didn't say a thing, paid for the copy of the paper, and when I went out to fill up the car with gas, you were standing by the side of the car reading the sports section of the New York Times. Well, the second year when we went up, on the way home, we stopped at the same place, Will, and you got another copy of the New York Times, and I think this time you read the front page. But I want you to know, at that point, I felt I didn't need to require oxygen for myself, because I thought, I don't know, this must be the norm for Will. This is just what he does. Will, you were not even out of elementary school. Oh my gosh. All right. Will, your accomplishments in high school and college were above and beyond. They really were. And everyone who knew you and loved you, Will, was so proud of you for all of the things that you took on, all of the arenas in which you excelled. But Will, the undertaking that most moved me, was when you were editor of the Hoya, and you pursued the reporters breaking the story on those 12, what were they, 11 priests and a nun. I was so moved by that, Will, because I admired your bravery. I admired your courage, because you knew there could have been all sorts of fallout on that, even though I know you checked with the attorneys first. But when you took that story on, Will, I knew that Simon blood coursed through your veins, because like Grandpa Gary, you were always pursuing justice, regardless of the price. If you saw a wrong that needed to be corrected, you took the step to make the correction. Well, that was outstanding in my mind. I just marveled at your actions. And although Grandpa Deet and I smiled and were proud and told of all of our friends about this, I want you to know that Grandpa Gary was looking out behind a little cloud and smiling at you. Will, I love the fact that you always laugh at my jokes. That is a very politically correct thing to do. I love the fact that when I get off on an absurd tangent, you actually contribute to it. And the pronouncement of how absurd the conversation is driven home, and we both get a good laugh out of it. So I'd like to thank you for your patience, Will. You have a gift, Will, for making people around you very comfortable. When people listen to you, me in particular, you give me your full attention as if there is no one else in the world. You listen, you process. Who knows what you really think about what I say? But you exude the aura of what the person who's speaking to you says has real importance. And that is a gift, Will, because not everybody has it. And I think it has served you well in the past. I just want you to know that I notice it and appreciate it, and it will serve you well as your life goes on. And so, Will, whatever the next chapter is, I hope you enter the adventure knowing that people around you, friends and family, and Grandpa Deet and me in particular, since we're the one sending you this message, please know, Will, you have our full support, our admiration, and our love, because we treasure the amazing, amazing person that you are, Will. So even though you're not rip-roaring with your buddies today, know that your family has such strong, positive, and well-meaning feelings about your accomplishment of graduating from a university which is among the top. And know that we will love you forever, Will. Will, you are always in my heart. I always hear your very politically correct responses to whatever I say. And I have loved you from the day you were born, Will, and will always do so. You're always in my heart. I love you, and congratulations on your Corona graduation, Will. Grandpa's turn to say something.